11 and 5 in each of the first two, and John Fox, so many years in Carolina, led them to the Super Bowl over a decade ago, and now here in Denver guiding the Broncos. And Brandon McManus is going to kick off. McManus is taking the place of Matt Prater, who's suspended for the first 4 games of the season. McManus with the Giants and the Broncos this preseason, and last preseason he was backing up Adam Vinatieri in Indianapolis. Daniel Herron is back to receive the kick. He's had only 1 career kick return, and we'll see if he has the opportunity here, which doesn't happen very often at 5,280 feet. Crowd rises as one, and off we go from Denver, and that's a nice start for McManus as he boots it into the stands. And let's take a look at the Indianapolis offense.
Andrew Luck, Stanford.
Trent Richardson, Alabama.
Reggie Wayne, Marrero.
T.Y. Hilton, FIU.
Hakeem Nicks, North Carolina.
Dwayne Allen, Clemson.
Anthony Costanzo, Boston College.
Jack Muhort, The Ohio State University.
E.Q. Shipley, Penn State.
Hugh Thornton, Illinois.
College Sherrillis, BC.
One of the new faces, Nicks, the former New York Giant. They start with play action and great protection, and Luck throws, and it's complete, and it's Reggie Wayne. Seeing his first action since last October, they go right to the air and hit Reggie Wayne deep downfield for a gain of 22.
Everybody looking for maybe a run to start this game. The Colts hustle up to the line of scrimmage and welcome back Reggie Wayne. Pretty remarkable. He can come all the way back at his age, one of the older receivers in the game. He says he feels 120% and ready to go.
14th season in the league. Colts picked him number 1 in 01. And now they'll run it with Trent Richardson, and he'll chug his way up to the 48-yard line for a gain of 5. Luck, the number 1 overall pick coming out of Stanford. Remember, RG3 was number 2 that year, going to Washington. 81.96 through the air in his first 2 seasons. Nobody's been better in their first 2 years in NFL history. 2nd down and 4 at the 48-yard line. And Luck protected well and has another first down. T.Y. Hilton, breakout year last year, an emerging star. Chris Harris with the coverage and a first down for the Colts.
And Jack Del Rio telling us that the number 1 job for his defense here tonight is to keep T.Y. Hilton in front of him. He is a tremendous deep threat.
Colts in no huddle. You saw Pep Hamilton, who is also Luck's offensive coordinator at Stanford. Luck looking like Manning as he works the line. In the noise, and out of the pistol. It's given to Richardson, and he cannot get out of the backfield. That's Nate Irving, the middle linebacker, 4th-year guy from North Carolina State with the tackle.
Nate Irving, there was some talk that maybe they were trying to replace Nate Irving, not overwhelmingly happy with him when he was through with preseason, but here he comes with a big play right off the bat.
They let Wesley Woodyard get away. He signed with Tennessee. Danny Trevathan then got hurt. They expect him back, so Irving is in the middle. It's 2nd down and 12. And Luck will set up the screen. And this is Richardson inside the 40. He's a yard shy of the first down. Raheem Moore making the tackle. Richardson was the number 3 overall pick by the Cleveland Browns. And then last year, early in the season, traded Indianapolis. Gave up a lot for him. But he averaged only 2.9 yards per carry. Now he's more familiar with the system. There's a lot riding on his shoulders this year, Chris.
Yeah, Chuck Pagano telling us, hey, if you want everybody to shut up about you and your 2.9 average, get out there and get it done. So far, so good in this one.
League average year after year is either 4-0, 4-1, somewhere in that neighborhood. Colts go 3 tight on 3rd and 1. Just snap it before the play clock expires, and the pass is too high. Intended for Kobe Fleener. So they're going to bring in Vinatieri at the age of 41 to attempt a long field goal.
One of the surprises that came out of camp was Marvin Austin, a guy that's really was cut by 3 different teams a season ago. Here he is getting some pressure, and I think it just forced Andrew Luck to release that a little higher than he wanted to.
Vinatieri now will set up at the 45-yard line. The Colts are looking over. They're missing somebody on special teams. So there's a late addition that comes in. On the field before the game, I was watching as Vinatieri kicked one from 62 yards and kicked it 10 yards past the goalpost. This from 54, a flag is down, and that one hits the upright. The play clock had expired.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, it'll be 4th down.
So because one of the Colts was late,
prior to the snap.
was late getting on the field, that cost him, and now Pagano says, I'm going to send in the punt group. There it is right there, and clearly it went to 0 before it winds up hitting the upright, and now instead of Vinatieri, it's his holder, McAfee, who will do the punting.
Well, there's no doubt that Vinatieri could still hit it from here. I mean, he hit that one about 15 feet up the upright, but you don't want to take a chance on a miss and giving Peyton Manning the ball at midfield.
Rookie punt returner Isaiah Burse, free agent from Fresno State. McAfee, one of the very best in the league, angles it and cannot stop it before it bounds into the end zone. So Peyton Manning's first opportunity will begin at the 20 on Sunday Night Football from Denver. Football from Denver brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. By Kia Motors, visit kia.com to learn more. By DirecTV, if you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. And by Bud Light, stay in the game and drink responsibly. Colorado State Capitol. It's warm early Sunday evening, and the Denver Broncos' first offensive play of the season begins at the 20-yard line. Manning under center. Ball is the running back. And a quick flip to the outside. Emmanuel Sanders, who comes over from Pittsburgh, gains 4. LaRon Landry makes the tackle. His 2 years in Denver, remember, nobody knew how he would fare following that neck surgery, 4 of them, in fact. But look at that. Better than a 4-to-1 ratio, touchdowns to interceptions. Won the MVP award last year. John Elway brought him here. Elway responsible for the composition of this team, and watches Manning now on play action with a ton of protection, throw, and hit his man Sanders again. So they bring in Sanders, 5th year after 4 in Pittsburgh, and they go to him back-to-back.
Well, you want to play man-to-man and bring some pressure on Peyton. That means you're going to have to cover these wideouts one-on-one, and one guy they did not have last year was Emmanuel Sanders. We had a chance to watch him in practice. He is lightning quick. This is a dimension that the Broncos didn't have opposite Demaryius Thomas a season ago.
And they can really use him tonight. Wes Welker is out for 4 games in the pass to the outside. So Sanders, in his Denver debut, is involved in the first 3 plays.
Well, and you have to give him space. They're playing off of him, giving him plenty of room, because they've seen on tape this preseason he has just been running by guys. And it's a little scary. I know Wes Welker and everybody says he's not here, but after watching practice, I was thinking they're okay.
2nd and 5 now. And they give it to Monte Ball, swinging to the outside. Breaks the tackle, gets to the 43-yard line, 1st down. And Ball a little slow in getting up. It's a gain of 15 for Monte.
One of the things the Broncos want to do more of is bring 2 tight ends in the game and run the ball. They think it fits Monte Ball perfectly. Here they bring Virgil Green back around, and Adam Gase, the offensive coordinator, said, I hope I have the guts to stick with it. We really needed another personnel group. We were just one-dimensional a season ago.
And jumping from the right side, you had Corey Redding. Tony Correnti will make the call. Ryan Clady was the left tackle.
Defense in the neutral zone. Encroachment. 5-yard penalty remains. 1st down.
That is Redding, and it will make it 1st down and 5.
He's trying to say you can do that. You can move, and Peyton can't do this, which is jump with his hands. And he's gotten a lot of guys to jump off sides doing that over the years.
A few hundred.
At least.
1st and 5 now from the 39-yard line. Manning, great protection, going deep, The coverage is outstanding and the pass is incomplete. Vontae Davis covering on the play. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver, and Davis had a phenomenal night in the game between these two teams last year in Indy.
A little bit of an out and up here and try and get after Vontae Davis, who makes another nice turn. Al, he pitched about a perfect game in that game last year. I think he was targeted 8 times in that game, and every time he won the battle. And so at some point, you're going to have to see somebody beat Vontae Davis for the Broncos to win.
His brother had a pretty good day today. Vernon with 2 touchdowns for San Francisco. Now through the middle to the 35 goes Ball, and let's take a look at the Denver offense.
Peyton Manning, University of Tennessee.
Monte Ball, Wisconsin.
Demaryius Thomas, Georgia Tech.
Emmanuel Sanders, SMU.
Andre Caldwell, the University of Florida.
Julius Thomas, Portland State University.
Ryan Clady, Boise State.
Orlando Franklin, the U. Manny Ramirez, Texas Tech.
Luis Vasquez, Texas Tech.
Chris Clark, Southern Miss.
Well, are they happy to have Clady back? He got hurt early last season. Missed the whole year. Number 1 pick back in 08. And he is the anchor of that line as Ball, who was picked in the 2nd round last year out of Wisconsin, is to the 33-yard line and a first down.
You know, it's really interesting. Orlando Franklin, who was a 3-year starter at right tackle, now has moved into left guard. And the Broncos feel like that this is going to give them a little edge in a couple of different areas. Not only just running the football, but giving Peyton Manning a little bit more time to step up in the passing game so that those tackles can just work the ends around the outside. But there is a lot of beef inside now between Franklin and Ramirez and Luis Vasquez, the Pro Bowl.
Crowd, as it did all those years in Indy, gets very quiet when Manning's under center so they can hear the signals. To the outside, and there's a great tackle by Vontae Davis on Monte Ball behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, there's something about Sunday Night Football for Vontae Davis. That is an absolutely perfect form tackle. Looked like it was going to set up again. Virgil Green came around, and it just leaves a corner one-on-one. Most cornerbacks don't look forward to handling those big running backs, but for Vontae, no problem at all.
That's about as close to a perfect game as you can get when you allow 4 yards to Manning on 8 attempts. 2nd down and 10. Peyton spreads him out. He has C.J. Anderson flanking him in the backfield. And he gives it to him. Through the middle he goes to the 20-yard line. So normally Ronnie Hillman would be the number 2 back, but he's been sick, inactive tonight. They go to C.J. Anderson, 2nd-year guy out of Cal. It's a gain of 13.
A nice job by Manny Ramirez and Orlando Franklin on this one. Inside, watch this double team and then get up on the linebacker after that. They handle it there, and then Franklin comes off, gets the linebacker. Good run there by C.J. Anderson, too.
This drive started at the Denver 20-yard line. Manning to the outside, and that may have been deflected. Intended for Demaryius Thomas, who in an otherwise forgettable Super Bowl wound up catching 13 passes to set a Super Bowl record last February.
Now they're just going to try and get the ball out here to Demaryius Thomas, who basically between these little screens and deep balls had about 50% of his yardage from a season ago. That is such a weapon. Thomas running after the catch, number 1 in that category last year.
There's your first Omaha of the night. Not your last either. And lots of action up front. I think Omaha threw him off.
Omaha, clearly, they haven't heard that much.
False start, offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
There's Bjorn Werner, 2nd year in the league, and with Mathis gone, I mean, if you're looking for a guy maybe to put the pressure on and have a big night, he might be your man. They certainly hope he is. He was the number 1 pick last year. Greg Minuski is the Colts defensive coordinator. 2nd and 15. And the pass is caught. This is Julius Thomas taking it to the 13-yard line, the tight end.
Well, that was kind of interesting. Vontae Davis this time was not wide enough, and LaRon Landry was pointing, get out, and he did, but then it left a huge hole inside for Julius Thomas.
Right, they flexed the tight end to the outside. pays off for a gain of 13. Makes it 3rd and 2. Manning in the pocket. Winds up hitting Thomas. And Demaryius Thomas takes the ball inside the 5 to set up a 1st and goal.
The return of Ryan Clady is really changing this offense. In here, being able to block Werner here in a one-on-one situation, that is what they did not have in the Super Bowl last year. They got beat badly on the edges with the way the Seattle Seahawks rushed the quarterback. But now with Clady there, they're able to chip less, get more receivers out, really beneficial.
This is the 13th play of a 6-minute drive. 1st and goal from the 3. And a little fade, and the pass is incomplete. No flag. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver. 2nd down and goal.
Nice job by Greg Toller on the outside. Had groin injuries all last year. Finally had surgery at the end of the season, but you can see did not allow Demaryius Thomas to get that easy outside release and just know where to go with the ball. This is where you miss Wes Welker. This is where Welker is so dynamic. Down in the red zone, scoring touchdowns.
2nd and goal. Welker got at least for the moment for 4 games unless they change the policy in the interim. Play fake and then to the back of the end zone and too deep and good coverage that time as Thomas gets double teamed going through the end zone. It's 3rd and goal from the 3.
Pretty good job there by Darius Butler. He got that 5-yard bump rule. I say he used just about all of it there and they got away with it.
Denver best in the red zone last year. Adam Gase is the offensive coordinator. So 3 times out of every 4 last year, when they got into the red zone, they scored a touchdown for 606 points. Also established an NFL record.
Daniel Sanders in the slot where Welker would be.
Manning looks the other way, then throws and nearly has that one intercepted. Intended for Thomas. Landry put the heat on that time on the safety blitz, and it's 4th down.
They're on the outside, but here comes Landry right after Peyton Manning. There's some definitely grabbing and pulling and tugging, and Darius Butler. That's what the Indianapolis Colts want to see. They want to see this game where they can get physical with the wide receivers and it not be called, well, that was a duck.
Now Brandon McManus will attempt his first field goal as a Denver Bronco. A chip shot from 21, and that's good. So they went 16 plays, but could only get 77 of the 80 yards, and Indy holds them to a field goal. 3-0 Bronx. Well, Pat Bowlen has been the owner of this team for more than 3 decades. I think most of you know or have read that he's afflicted with Alzheimer's and thus will not be coming to any more games. There's his wife Annabelle in the white dress. They have 7 kids, and we'll see about the future of this franchise, but they're hoping that one of the kids will eventually run it. In the meantime, you've got Joe Ellis, who's been a long-time employee of the Broncos, and of course John Elway, who have things pretty well covered.
I'll tell you, when John Elway was talking about him with tears in his eyes, it told you all you needed to know about Pat Bowlen.
We miss him. 3 major figures not playing tonight. Robert Mathis of the Colts, 4 games performance-enhancing drugs. Matt Prater, the kicker for Denver, 4 games substance abuse. Wes Welker, 4 games performance-enhancing drugs. Mathis led the league in sacks last year. Prater was almost perfect. And Welker, a career-high 10 touchdowns. So key guys on both sides in a 3-0 game with 5:14 to go in the opening quarter. And Indy started the stride from the 20-yard line. Richardson. And Trent Richardson takes the ball out to the 27-yard line. Gain of 7 as we go to Michelle.
Well, out tonight, Colts owner Jim Irsay is also missing the first game in his 43-year association with the team. The NFL suspended him 6 games and fined him $500,000 after he pled guilty to 1 misdemeanor count of driving under the influence. I'll finish after the play, Al.
All right, it's 2nd down and 3 from the 27-yard line. Luck. 5 receivers go into the pattern, and the pass is knocked down and incomplete. Knocked down by Harris. Back to you, Michelle.
Well, part of his suspension, he's forbidden to have any sort of contact with the organization during the suspension, Irsay. But Colts officials tell me he left a plan in place for how the team was to be run, though, Al, they would not give details. They refused to confirm some of the reports that are out there.
Well, it's been a well-run organization through the years, and of course they've been very fortunate in the two quarterbacks that they've chosen over the last 15 years. 3rd down and 3 from the 27-yard line. And that pass is caught over the middle by Reggie Wayne out to the 40-yard line. Tackled there by Aqib Talib, one of the new Denver Broncos.
Oh, there's nothing like having an old vet out there. Watch him sort of trickle out and then come back in underneath some of these picks here. Working on Talib. You know, the interesting thing about Reggie Wayne is we asked him, what did he think when he first knew he was hurt? He said, all I could think about was how I was letting my teammates down. It meant so much to him to answer the bell every week.
From the 41 on 1st down to the outside to Wayne, trying to get a block, and picks up about 4 yards before he is forced out of bounds by Ward. And for Reggie Wayne, so many numbers to look at. 72 consecutive games with 3 or more catches. Tops in history. Didn't take him long either. 2nd and 7. Luck fires, tip, intercepted at the 31-yard line. And running it back to midfield is Raheem Moore. Luck firing a dart that was deflected and picked by Moore. And Manning will set up at midfield when we come back to Denver.
Aqib Talib with his first impact play for the Denver Broncos, working against Dwayne Allen. Had this one measured all the way. He saw exactly what was happening, broke on the football, just missed the catch, but his buddy Raheem Moore was there to clean it up.
Now Manning starts from the 46-yard line, hands the ball to Monte Ball, and he gets tackled at the line of scrimmage. Here's the Indy defense.
Corey Redding, Texas.
Josh Chapman, Alabama.
Arthur Jones, Syracuse. Eric Walden, Dublin High.
DeQuell Jackson, Maryland. Jarrell Freeman, Mary Hardin Baylor.
Bjorn Vanna, Florida State.
Greg Toller, St. Paul's College.
Mike Adams, Delaware Blue Hens.
LeRon Landry, LSU.
Vontae Davis, Dunbar Senior High School, D.C.
And on 2nd and 10, Manning's going to go deep, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Julius Thomas. You know, one of those guys that just introduced himself, DeQuell Jackson. Denver wanted to get him.
Sure did.
He was in Cleveland all of these years. A lot of people don't really know too much about him, but he could be a very impactful player for the Colts this season.
Yeah, a lot of former Cleveland Browns in this one. T.J. Ward came over as well for the Broncos. So this is these are teams that are different than what they were a season ago. You always have to sort of start over when you start a new season.
Third and 10. Colts showing blitz, and here they come, and Manning's going to escape. A flag is thrown, and here goes Peyton. He doesn't do this very often, and he gets tackled from behind. There's another flag downfield as well. So 2 separate calls coming from Tony Correnti.
Holding, offense number 65. 10-yard penalty, repeat, 3rd down.
That's Vasquez, and then there's a flag all the way down at the 34-yard line of Indianapolis. And Denver's saying, wait a second, there's another penalty.
Penalties
here
against both teams. These penalties will offset.
There you go.
Offense, holding defense number 20. By rule, these penalties will offset. Replay, 3rd down.
Darius Butler on the Indianapolis side.
Yeah, clear as mud. They came with everybody. We talked about the pressure the Colts were going to use. Little loop around here by the linebacker Josh McNary. And you'll see Luis Vasquez just sort of reach out and grab him, bring him to the ground. This receiver right there, that's Darius Butler.
So the call's offset. We're back to a 3rd down and 10. Colts blitz again. Manning down the left side, and it's caught. Julius Thomas makes the catch at the sideline. So a 3rd and 10 is converted on the pass to Thomas, who's been flexing out from his normal tight end position. Gain of 34.
Well, coming with the blitz one more time. This time the Broncos do a great job. And anytime you have your tight end, and it's almost hard to call Julius Thomas a tight end. He looks like a wide receiver out there. You get him against Jarrell Freeman, who, don't underestimate Jarrell Freeman. He can run, he can cover, he's a good player, but not many people match up against Julius Thomas on the outside.
2 catches for Thomas tonight for 47 yards. Manning hands the ball off. Ball goes nowhere. Werner makes the tackle.
And we talked about him a little bit, Bjorn Werner. He's going to have to replace Robert Mathis, and here he comes right down the line to make a play. Does a pretty good job in the run game. I think there's still a lot of questions about where is the pass rush going to come from this team without Robert Mathis, and I think the answer is going to have to be for the next 4 games from blitzing.
Ball got about 1.5 yards, 2nd down, call it 8. A minute to play in the opening quarter. And he goes to Caldwell for the first time, and he makes the catch at the 10-yard line. Darius Butler making the tackle.
Well, here's just the opposite strategy of what we've seen. This time they just rush 3 and try and go cover everybody. Unfortunately, they didn't get Caldwell covered on this one. Andre Caldwell, the all-time leading receiver at the University of Florida. Now a much more prominent role here without Wes Welker.
Goes to the ball at the 10, thus it's 1st and goal. Last drive was stymied at the 3-yard line. They settled for a field goal. And this one was stymied, at least on 1st down, at the line of scrimmage. Zach Kerr, a rookie out of Delaware, takes care of ball. And that should take us to the end of the 1st quarter. A quarter in which Denver has already gained 121 yards to 68 for Indianapolis. And just a field goal up on the board. End of 1. Denver 3, Indianapolis nothing. Sunday Night Football from Denver, back after these messages. Aerial coverage tonight being brought to you by Geico. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle DeFoya, Denver, at the base of the Rockies. Sunset in the Rockies as we come back to Sports Authority Field. 2nd down and goal for the Broncos. Short drop by Manning, pass caught and taken to the 3 by Emmanuel Sanders. Stopped there by Butler, so it'll be 3rd down and goal.
One of the interesting things is that they are using Sanders inside some now in this game. There was a discussion that maybe it would be too much to ask him to learn that slot position as well, because as you all know, this is a complicated communication system here with the Broncos and Peyton Manning.
This is where the first drive bogged down. They had to settle for a field goal. Peyton now trying to cash in for 7. In the pocket, throwing and caught. Flag down, Thomas with the touchdown. Corey Redding came in and put a lick on Manning as he released it, but Peyton able to get up and smile, thinking that the flag's going to be on the defense. Tony Correnti will give us the call.
Holding defense number 28. This penalty is declined. Result to the play, touchdown.
54 yards, 8 plays, and in goes Denver.
Great play by Peyton Manning. Watch the shot he's going to take. He knows it too. He sees Corey Redding coming, gets the ball out, gives his big guy a chance to go up and make a play. Julius Thomas just out rebounds the Colts on that one.
McManus's point after is good. 46 seconds into the 2nd quarter. Denver 10, Indianapolis nothing. Only 30 of the game's best will make their way to Atlanta. See who will raise the FedEx Cup Tour Championship beginning Thursday and then continuing Saturday on NBC. And of course, they just had action here at Cherry Hills over the weekend. Any of those 5 guys wins next week, they win it. Kirk, Horschel, who won today, Watson, McIlroy, and Mahan. There is Rory McIlroy taking in the game tonight here in Denver. And watching that kick sail through the end zone up the foot of McManus. During this commercial break, got to get over there and get a couple of swing thoughts, huh? A tip or two. Not that it will help. Very active offseason for the Denver Broncos, especially on the defensive side of the ball. DeMarcus Ware, the longtime Cowboy, 7-time Pro Bowl pick. Aqib Talib has already made his presence felt tonight, reflecting an interception. And then T.J. Ward from the Cleveland Browns comes over. Emmanuel Sanders on the offensive side got into the action right off the bat with catches on the first 3 plays. First down and 10 now for Indianapolis at the 20-yard line. And Luck is going to get sacked. Nate Irving comes right through the middle to blitz him and get him.
Well, Nate Irving, who there was some talk that they wanted DeQuell Jackson in free agency, so they wouldn't have Nate Irving in there playing linebacker, but it's a good thing they do because so far he's had a monster game. You just wonder now with all the changes and A.Q. Shipley up there and trying to make those line calls, are they going to be able to handle those blitzes from the Broncos tonight?
Second and 18. Ahmad Bradshaw comes into the game in the backfield, and they give the ball to Bradshaw to the 14. And you know, Chris, when you look at those off-season additions, I think what John Elway had in mind basically is how do we catch up to Seattle after a 43-8 drubbing in the Super Bowl?
Well, and they knew going into that game that they didn't have the speed to run down a Russell Wilson with their pass rushers and all that went with it. So they went out and made changes. They brought in DeMarcus Ware, Aqib Talib, we've seen him. T.J. Ward, a very physical safety, almost like a middle linebacker, which allows them to put Raheem Moore in center field. Already has an interception.
Third and 16, and under pressure is Luck. He's going to take off and slides to a stop at the 19-yard line. So that's a rather quick 3 and out for the Colts. Manning with the helmet back on and ready to go to work as Denver's going to get the ball back after a Pat McAfee punt.
You know, we saw Seattle on Thursday night sort of hold serve as the favorite maybe in the NFC, and at least thus far the Broncos doing the same here.
The rookie Isaiah Burse back to receive this punt. McAfee in the mile-high air with a booming kick. Burse fields at the 26. You've got a flag thrown as he begins to run back. And he takes it back to the 39-yard line. And Tony Correnti after discussing it with the group. They can all communicate with each other this year through the earpieces.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 32. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So that's a 55-yard punt plus a penalty. 12 minutes to go in the half. 10-0 Denver. Denver on top, 10-0. Boy, they keep Manning clean, sacked or contacted by the defense on only 50% of his dropbacks. Lowest rate in the league, that's about 1 per 7. But last year at Indianapolis, sacked 4 times. 11 passes were thrown after contact. And of course, there was a guy in that game who's not here tonight that made that happen.
Yeah, Robert Mathis led the NFL with 19.5 sacks, and it's just a different football team. There's no other way to say it. You take him out of the mix, and now they're having to do things to try to create pressure that Mathis got on his own.
Peyton's been knocked down twice tonight. Ball tries to find some room on the outside and gets tackled just about at the line of scrimmage by Eric Walden.
First time I put on the tape of the Broncos from this preseason, and I saw the offensive line as is with Ryan Clady in there. Chris Clark moved over to right tackle, Orlando Franklin inside. My first thought was, the Super Bowl would have been a little more interesting with these 5 guys up front because it really was a mismatch.
2nd and 8. Started in horrendous fashion, of course, with the snap over Manning's head on the first play. To the outside goes this pass, caught by Thomas. And in that game, Seattle was in front 15-0 before Denver even had a first down.
And it was just so unusual, and we all knew what kind of defense Seattle had, sort of record-setting and historic and all those kinds of things. But that's what this Denver offense was too. I mean, they were record-setting and historic, and so you kept thinking, all right, they're going to get it going, and Peyton's going to get this thing going, and it just never really happened.
3rd and 1 now. Denver with 8 first downs to the Colts 3. And off play action. A lot of time, but the coverage is very good. Deep downfield, there's a penalty. It was a 3rd and 1.
Yeah, I think they got Greg Toller sort of leaning into the receiver.
Illegal contact, defense number 28. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
A little hesitate and go route on the outside by Demaryius Thomas, and you'll see Toller kind of lean his shoulder in there like he didn't get his hands on him, but just tried to get in his way and sort of threw off the timing. Really, Mike Adams was there. He didn't need to do that. He should have just trusted his safety on that one.
You all know, if you follow football, the point of emphasis in preseason, illegal contact. Calling it a lot less in the regular season than they did in preseason, of course, as Monte Ball takes the ball up to the 35. The Colts last year were the least penalized team in the league. Only 4.1 per game, and tonight already 3. You know which team led the league in penalties last year?
Seattle.
You got it. You get a parting gift.
Thank you.
We never got that in the other night.
Really?
Yeah, we got a few notes to throw in there. 2nd and 6. And the pass is caught. Seeking that first down and getting it is Andre Caldwell on his 2nd reception of the night.
I tell you, this Broncos offense, they're going to be tough. I mean, they have matchup issues across the board, and they're even playing 2 tight ends now. They are sticking to their guns on bringing Virgil Green in more and allowing them to get some power running formations going, but they're also throwing out of that, and it's like a pretty good thing to add to the mix.
To the ground. Ball. Breaks a tackle. Gets around the corner. Turns no gain into a pickup of about 5. And we go to Michelle.
Well, Cam Johnson for the Colts is out now, Al. He's got a left elbow strain. The Colts had been rotating in a lot of guys on that defensive front to deal with the atmosphere here, the altitude, and they have one less now. Cam Johnson out for the rest of the night, Al.
There he is, the 2nd-year man from Virginia. Got him in a trade with the 49ers. 2nd down and 6 from the 47-yard line. C.J. Anderson comes in the backfield, flanking Peyton. Manning will throw, and just short of the first down is Demaryius Thomas. Tackled there by Toller. And upcoming another 3rd and short, 3rd and 2.
This is why most teams opt to not blitz Peyton Manning. Kurt Warner was the other guy that I thought could do this, could dictate what defenses did to him because he gets the ball out of his hand so quickly. The Colts got away with it last year, and they got away with great coverage on the outside. But so far tonight, Peyton's been a little quicker than they are.
Peyton at 67%, 12 out of 18. And on 3rd and 2, trying to pick up that first down. He gets just about to that spot is C.J. Anderson. So Correnti will come in, so will the rest of the crew to take a peek at the sticks on the sideline.
Well, here's what we've been talking about. These quick release passes, get the ball out of your hands. You want to blitz that, you're going to find yourself in trouble because you don't have people on the outside that can go cover it. Then all of a sudden you say he's going to throw everything quick. There goes one over the top. Drop that one in the bucket perfectly to Julius Thomas for a big first down.
Anderson did pick up the first down. Ball comes back in. Time of possession is 2-1 in Denver's favor, and they run the end around here with Emmanuel Sanders, who gets a little bit of blocking and enough for a 12-yard gain. Demarius Thomas throwing one of those blocks in the first down.
Nice call by Adam Gase here. They've been running this 2 tight end set over here and running the ball this way. So all of a sudden the Colts started loading up that way, and here we go. Emmanuel Sanders and his speed adds a dimension, sort of like Percy Harvin we saw the other night.
So Sanders an 11-yard gain. He's also caught 4 for 28. Look at that protection for Manning. Right on the money. Julius Thomas to the end zone. Touchdown. It's just clinical right now. 35 yards. Denver's already gained 209 yards and going on 17-0.
Well, it comes off the play action. Look at the Colts. They get no pressure whatsoever. Clady just manhandling Burner on the outside. No competition. And then when you give Peyton Manning and Julius Thomas time, DeQuell Jackson just has no chance whatsoever. I think Julius Thomas might get paid around here.
Orange Julius, 4 catches tonight, 85 yards. Extra point by McManus is good. 6:41 remaining in the opening half on opening night. The opening Sunday anyway, 17-0 Broncos. This coming Saturday, the Premier League returns to NBCSN as the revamped Arsenal team takes on the defending champions Manchester City. Saturday morning at 7 Eastern time on NBCSN. And McManus having a good night. 2 extra points, a field goal, and all touchbacks.
Adam Gase and this offense, they want everything to look the same. So you've got a run play and then the play action off of it. See if you can tell which one is which. Here they go, the offensive line. There's a play fake. There's the run. Defensively, it's tough. Gets sucked up, and there goes Julius Thomas over the top.
So now the Colts, big uphill road on the road from the 20-yard line. Start on the ground. 2-yard gain for Trent Richardson. One thing about Luck, in his 2 years in the league, he knows what it's like to come from behind. Just ask the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs last year.
That was unbelievable. I mean, really, Andrew Luck, you thought, oh man, he's just having a terrible game. Came out to start the second half, another interception, and led one of the biggest comebacks in playoff history.
6 comebacks in his short career with double-digit deficits. Steps up in the pocket, slings it to the outside, incomplete. Reggie Wayne, the intended receiver, coverage good. It'll be 3rd down.
I'll tell you, we talked a little bit about Aqib Talib, but they got another guy back, really, because Chris Harris was hurt early in the playoffs, and he really sort of beat Adrian Peterson's record by getting hurt in the playoffs and coming back and ready for opening day. Watching him in practice, he is lightning quick, and defensively, John Fox, Jack Del Rio, they are fired up to have him back.
3rd down and 8. Luck pressured, sacked. Lucky he held on to the ball. Malik Jackson came in to put the heat on.
Malik Jackson going to come up right here. Our condolences to him. Went to his father's funeral earlier this week, but he has been a playmaker. Probably, other than Von Miller, their best pass rusher. And when you get somebody inside and then you get Ware and Miller outside, it's for a long night for quarterbacks.
McAfee. Another booming kick. Fielded at 29, and the ball comes out. And then he winds up with it anyway as McAfee sent it down to Burse, who got hit by Purifloy, but is able to retain possession. I think for a happier trip back to the bench. Don't miss a moment of Sunday Night Football this season with NBC Sports Live Extra. You can take the game with you anywhere, online and on tablet. Early evening in Denver, Colorado. 17-0 Denver, and Manning will start this drive from the 29-yard line. Ball, cuts it back to the 34-yard line. Well, Knowshon Moreno was their key guy out of the backfield last year, but he's now in Miami. His team knocked off New England today, so it's going to be Ball, and he's going to be the heavy-duty guy and a guy who can actually play all 3 downs.
Yeah, no question, and had an appendectomy, and so missed a lot of practice time, but was back 2 days later, at least standing and watching and learning. Ran him a lot in the last preseason game. They feel like he's ready to go. Knowshon Moreno had a big day today, too.
Second down and 5. Manning sends it to the outside. That's Ball, who played at Wisconsin with Russell Wilson, as we go to Michelle.
Well, Ball began feeling pain in his abdomen the week after the Super Bowl. He thought it was a muscle strain, but on August 4th, he woke up at 2 in the morning. The pain was severe. Later that morning, team trainers conducted an MRI. They saw that the appendix was about to burst. He was rushed to a hospital, had the appendix removed, and as you said, Chris, spent the next 2 weeks recovering, was out on the field, but not moving much. But he's not wearing protective gear. He says he's fine.
You saw those numbers in terms of what he did over the last 5 games of last season. Play clock at 3. And the handoff on the inside going to Ball. He's already gotten a healthy dose of carries tonight. That's a dozen for him for 42 yards.
I'll tell you, Luis Vasquez is one of my favorite players to watch. I just think that he understands the game so well. Not only does he make blocks, but he creates angles. He's going to come up and get the outside edge here, working against Jarrell Freeman, turn him to the inside, which gives a very distinct message to the back of where to go.
Now C.J. Anderson, a burst up the middle for a gain of 8 yards. Ryan Clady paving the way for him.
Yeah, that time Vasquez came on a trap, and they are just going right at the Colts now, who have to be wearing down. I mean, this has been a completely one-sided affair.
And there's a flag down here. Anderson carrying for what, for the moment, would be a first down.
Illegal substitution, defense, 5-yard penalty, results in a first down.
Well, that's what happens. Your defense gets tired. Greg Minuski tried to run a fresh player on the field, and as we've seen often before, Peyton Manning catches you.
Well, at altitude here, Denver's had the ball for 18 minutes, and the Colts a little less than 9. Take the stretch play, buys time, over the middle, catch made, Sanders for a first and goal. Well, what a debut for Emmanuel Sanders. 40 yards.
What happens to you is you end up having to send safeties down here against this stretch play, and then you run across the field the other way. But I tell you, fantasy players, if you took Emmanuel Sanders, you're going to feel pretty good about yourself pretty soon. The more you watched him in practice, the more you just kept saying, wow, short area quickness, over-the-top speed. It's going to set up Demaryius Thomas to have one-on-one opportunities he didn't have a year ago. Something.
And on first and goal, a little confusion on the handoff that time. Corey Redding takes care of Monte Ball, and that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. It'll be second and goal when we come back. It's been all Broncos to this point, 17-zip. So at a halftime coming up, well, the Falcons beat the Saints in an overtime thriller. 49ers dominant in Dallas. Bob and Hines weigh in on the first half coming up at halftime. Meanwhile, second down and goal here. 2 minutes remaining in the opening half.
Julius Thomas down here one-on-one with no help. I'm going to think they may try to take advantage of that.
He's already scored 2 touchdowns tonight. You bet. It's almost like you saw the play before it happened. The hat trick in the first half for Julius Thomas.
Just one-on-one against a safety or a linebacker, it just doesn't matter. They can't stay it. And Julius Thomas looked back and said, "Are you crazy? You're going to play me with no help?"
On opening night last year, when they opened up against Baltimore, Manning threw 7 touchdown passes, 2 to Julius Thomas, 3 so far tonight. The long pass to Sanders, the 40-yard catch, set this one up. Broncos on fire, 24-0. Well, we all know about Peyton's preparation. He's always ready to start the season. Averaging 2 touchdown passes per season opener. 34 overall. 3 tonight. Denver has 4 possessions, 1 field goal, and 3 touchdowns for that guy.
And they've got to be shot at this point. I mean, this has been about as one-sided as you can get. Peyton Manning telling us that we have a feeling we can run them. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're running them out of the building.
And that is David Booten, special teamer and backup safety, who's attended to. Sunday Night Football being brought to you by Chevrolet. Find new roads. By GE, presenting The Boy Who Beeps. By Subway, home of the famous $5 football. And by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Rocky Mountain Sunset. One of the sunsets that John Elway rode off into at the end of his career with 2 Super Bowls. So the Colts trying to get something started. Start from the 20-yard line. They give it to Bradshaw. And he's going to pick up about 4 to the 24-yard line.
Well, we haven't heard a whole lot out of Von Miller so far tonight, but these are the kind of situations that pass rushers just love. Got a big lead. Now you got the quarterback trying to play catch up. DeMarcus Ware on the other side. Look out.
2nd down and 6. And that is caught by the former Giant, Hakeem Nicks, and he picks up a 1st down.
Well, the Indianapolis Colts have pretty good tackles on the outside. Anthony Costanzo working against Ware. That's a nice job there. And then Gosder Charles on the other side, working against Von Miller. Well done there.
From the 37 on 1st down. A little toss over the middle, and that's caught by Kobe Fleener, the tight end, for a gain of about 4. And the Colts are going to take their first timeout. Well, the quarterback comparison tonight, well, in a game like this, it would figure that Luck, despite 7 of 11, only 73 yards, 1 pick. And Peyton Manning, 198 yards as we approach halftime. Hasn't been sacked once, 3 touchdowns. Luck's been sacked twice. By the way, on that sack earlier where Malik Jackson got to him, DeMarcus Ware wound up with a half sack. So in his Bronco debut, the former Dallas Cowboy is on the stat sheet. 2nd and 6 now. Four-man rush. Checks it down to Bradshaw. And he will fight for the 1st down and get it to the 50-yard line. Tackled there by Harris as we tick down to 1 minute remaining.
Good to see Bradshaw back in action again. One of the really tough guys playing running back. Had that neck injury a year ago, but Chuck Pagano, you can tell how much respect he has for him.
to the outside, and flag is thrown. Wayne was there. Bradley Roby, their #1 draft choice rookie out of Ohio State, covering. Luck indicates it's against the defense. We'll get the call from Tony Correnti momentarily.
Illegal contact, defense number 29. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So Roby, the 31st pick in the draft, 3-year starter for Urban Meyer in Columbus.
Here comes TJ Ward on the blitz. You're going to see that a lot this year. One of the things that he can do is play all over the place. He's a strong safety. He's an excellent blitzer. He's a guy that can cover the tight end coming out. A true strong safety. They were very excited and surprised, actually, they were able to get him.
From the 45. Gets it off to Bradshaw. And Ahmad Bradshaw staying inbounds, getting the ball to the 34-yard line. Indianapolis has 2 timeouts, and they're going to take one of them right here.
Nice call there by Pep Hamilton, getting the screen against the blitz. Usually that's when it busts out.
You know, you look at Denver, the schedule at the beginning of the season is tough. They're going to meet Seattle in a couple of weeks, but it's a revamped Denver team. Seattle's pretty good too, by the way.
Yeah, Denver has a lot of playoff teams on that schedule, but I don't know who I feel sorry for. I mean, somebody's got to come in here and beat Denver or beat Seattle, because right now those two teams have looked really, really dominant.
Take a look at the schedule for the Broncos. They get Kansas City next week. Then at Seattle, they get an early bye. Then Arizona, they go to the Jets. And then we'll be here on Sunday night, the 19th of October, when the 49ers come to Denver.
I'll tell you, this Denver defense has been tough, haven't they? There's TJ Ward again, lurking around that linebacker position. Keep an eye on him.
Right there. 40 seconds and 1 timeout for the Colts as Luck buys time and then checks it down, and Fleener is able to get out of bounds. Play taking 6 seconds, 34 ticks remaining.
You know, talking to Jack Del Rio, he said, you know, we were a top 5 defense in every category almost a couple of years ago. Had a lot of injuries last year, but he thinks with the group he has right now, it wasn't even, I think we'll be top 5. He said we will be a top 5 defense this year.
Caught on the run, Reggie Wayne with the rookie Roby covering on the play, and Reggie Wayne is out of bounds with 28 seconds remaining on a first down.
One of the keys for DeMarcus Ware is his ability to get off the ball. Watch how quickly he is off the ball there, and Anthony Costanzo basically has to race backwards. And I get the feeling now that Luck may be working on the rookie just a little bit, Bradley Roby.
First and goal. The drive started at their own 20. This is the 8th play of the drive. You got Wayne against Roby again. Luck looked that way. Now to the other side. He can run, and he proves it right here as Luck reaches across, and they're going to say he was out of bounds at the 2-yard line. It's something he's done with great frequency in those 2 years in situations deep in the red zone. Takes it, packs it in, and almost always scores, but right here he's out of bounds.
Oh, that's
close.
Pretty interesting. Let's see, is that foot out? Because it definitely hits the pylon. I think they may want to take a look at that one.
Well, they will. It's inside 2 minutes.
I didn't see any
play. We'll go under review.
And they will. It's stop. Correnti stopping it. Dean Blandino and his gang will go to work in New York as well.
It doesn't matter if your body's out of bounds. Nothing hits down. You hit the pylon. That's a touchdown.
And there's the New York Command Center, so they're taking a look at that. Dean Blandino is standing up, and things should be more efficient this year and certainly faster, because by the time the referee gets over to the headset, Dean will have gotten a good look at it.
Unless this knee hits down out of bounds before that pylon, but I don't see it that way. Do you?
No, I don't either. And certainly I don't see the ball being spotted at the 2-yard line.
Just a great play by Andrew Luck to be able to extend that ball, hang on to it. Of course, you're all.
So Blandino has given his advice to Correnti. Let's put it that way. And here's Tony.
After review, the runner did not step out of bounds, reached and hit the pylon with the football. Result is a touchdown.
There you go. That's the way it should work, too.
It's great.
I mean, New York looks at it, and so you don't mess around for 2 minutes.
Right. It's obvious. They can get a first look. They get all the angles. Hey, this is what we think. They'll show it to Correnti. He confirms it. Boom, let's go play football.
Yep. Exactly what the Colts needed as they try to climb back into the game. They go 80 yards, 8 plays, 2 runs and 6 passes, and now Vinatieri to try to pick up his first point of the season, which he does.
Kansas City Chiefs are going to tell you this ain't over yet. They got it firsthand last year in the playoffs against the Colts.
They saw it. 19 seconds. Most touchdown runs by a quarterback since Luck came into the league. You got Newton at 14. That was Luck's 10th. Kaepernick and Griffin round out the top 4.
You know, the interesting thing, one of our conversations with Andrew Luck in a previous game, he said, you know, I really enjoy getting hit sometimes. He said contact's a part of the game that we really all fell in love with. I don't know that I completely agree with that statement. He says sometimes it wakes me up and it makes me feel more into the game to get out there and run the football a little bit. And boy, that was a big drive. They needed that.
Absolutely. Because you think about this, if you go back to the beginning of that drive, if they don't pick up a first down, then Manning is going to get the ball back with all of his timeouts. And who knows? So they were looking at maybe 27-0 or 31-0 if they had to give the ball up early and couldn't stop them. And now all of a sudden, 24-7, 19 seconds left in the half. Denver will get the second half kickoff. Manning will get the ball at the 20-yard line. Not too late to play NFL.com Fantasy. Enjoy free new mobile apps. You can join, draft, and play from anywhere. Sign up at NFL.com/fantasy.
NFL has a lot of ways to watch football. We were watching them on our phones and computers and iPads and everything today.
And conventional television, too.
Yeah, we did that, too, yeah.
And a kneel down will end a very good first half for the AFC champion Broncos. So they'll go to the locker room. Luck able to lead that last 80-yard drive to try to get him back into it. And at the half, the score is Denver 24, Indianapolis 7. Coming up next, Toyota halftime. First, these messages from your local NBC station. Luck fires, tip, intercepted. Raheem Moore throwing and caught, touchdown.
Thomas just out rebounds the Colts on that one.
The hat trick in the first half for Julius Thomas.
Bose, official sound of the NFL.
And on this Sunday night in Denver, Colorado, one half in the books, and the buzz with Denver leading 24-7. Peyton Manning, 40 straight games now with a touchdown pass. That's the longest active streak in the league. Julius Thomas with 3 touchdown catches, had 2 on opening night last year. Andrew Luck, 118 passing yards, and those 14 rushing yards include the touchdown that gets them back into the game at the end of the half. First 4 drives, next to nothing. Last drive, 80 yards, resulting in a TD. 24-7, let's go to Michelle.
Well, the Colts defense is going to begin this half back there out on the field, and Chuck Pagano acknowledged to me at halftime his defense is wearing down. I mean, we're at altitude. No team has yet to play 4 quarters, and the defense was out there for 40 plays. That sheer number alone has worn them down. As far as John Fox, he expects to see a little bit different defense from this Colts in the second half. He thinks they'll double the receivers and try to force the Broncos to run, Al.
Thank you, Michelle. 40 plays. You think about Green Bay talking about trying to run 75. And that, of course, is a ton. Denver's on a pace to run 80 tonight. So they'll probably start chewing up the clock, obviously, if they have the lead in the fourth quarter. And we start with another touchback, having the single kickoff return tonight.
Well, we talked about the new guys at the top of the show, and they've been putting on a show out here. We'll start with Emmanuel Sanders. His speed has certainly added a dimension to this offense as if they needed it. They were record-setting a year ago. Aqib Talib with the big play early, setting up the touchdown or the interception there by Raheem Moore, and then DeMarcus Ware getting half a sack on this one. So new guys, big impact, good first half of the Broncos.
Manning 199 yards through the air in the opening half. Starts from the 20-yard line. And they begin on the ground, and this is Ball with a flag thrown from behind. Gain of 3. Gonna hold.
Holding, offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Vasquez.
Yeah, Vasquez made a good initial block and then tried to get up on the linebacker and just stuck his arm out and got the hold. You'll see him right there. Grab hold and got caught. It's an interesting when you hold them to just a couple yards on first down. Would you rather have 2nd and 8 or 1st and 20 with Peyton Manning? Give him 3 more shots at you.
From the 10-yard line on 1st and 20. 2 backs in the backfield, and they run it to the other side. And this is Ball going next to nowhere, so 2nd and very long.
I think the Colts defensively know the significance of this drive here. Your offense just got hot. They went 80 yards, scored a touchdown. Let's get a 3 and out, get the ball back to them, see if we can get back in this game.
There's the defensive coordinator, Greg Minuski. Of course, Pagano's pedigree is also on the defensive side of the ball. 2nd and 19. Blitz coming. Manning gets it away, and it is dropped by Caldwell. Would have been about a 10-yard pickup. Instead, it's going to be 3rd down and 19.
Boy, Terrell Freeman came in there and gave Peyton a little shot there on the outside. Andre Caldwell had a pretty easy one there, but now it sets up. Peyton converted a long 3rd and 10 earlier that really sort of tilted this match. Colts defense needs a play here.
Go 3-by-1, 3 receivers set to the left side. Manning going over the middle, and that is dropped. So a pair of drops. This one by Demaryius Thomas. He would have been well shy of the first down. The coverage would have knocked him down well shy of the 20-yard line. So exactly what the Colts needed. A quick 3 and out, and they're going to get the ball back in what should be fairly decent field position.
We have seen some big comebacks already today in the National Football League. Certainly it looked like Pittsburgh's game against Cleveland was over in the first half, and it was not. So anytime you're talking about Andrew Luck, he has an amazing record of comebacks and fourth quarter wins, and we're just looking for a chance here.
Britton Colquitt with his first punt of the night. Griff Whalen sets up at his own 35-yard line.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Luck is ready.
They're going to get good field position. This changes things a little bit here too, because Colquitt now is going to stand on that back line. A bad snap, anything can happen here. Back into their pressure package again. Broncos respond, bringing their gunners back in.
And Whalen able to move up 5 more yards. They get a flag. because Indy jumped. Whalen's going to take it at the 45-yard line, and he'll take it and be banged into the Denver bench at the 46. But the Colts look like they jumped. And Correndi's going to go over and they want the play or do it again.
It's not a no-brainer. When you're punting out of your end zone, sometimes you just want to get it out and give your defense a chance here.
Offside.
Decline it.
Defense being in the neutral zone at the snap. The penalty is declined. First down.
Good. Interesting choice, but John Fox says forget about the penalty. Here comes Luck. Well, Andrew Luck trying to overcome what was a 24-point deficit, now 17. We'll start this drive in the opponent's territory. 9 rushing touchdowns, second most to Cam Newton, including one here. 10 game-winning drives, fourth quarter or overtime in just 2 seasons in the league. 32 games.
They need to be better on third downs. Just 1 for 4 in that first half compared to 6 for 8 for the Denver Broncos.
Play action. Under pressure, sliding away, says give me a block, and then dives to the 41-yard line.
Well, anytime you're going to rush 4, ultimately there is going to be somewhere to step up and through. This time it's right there. There's just no way to cover all those gaps, and sometimes you can get really frustrated with a running quarterback who's out there directing traffic. How about a little help, Trent?
Ball at the 41, second down and 5. And Luck slides away, throws, incomplete. Pressure that time, T.J. Ward covering Trent Richardson. Malik Jackson put the rush on, third down and 5.
One of the problems, you have DeMarcus Ware on the outside. All of a sudden now you got to use your wide receivers. Reggie Wayne, give him a little chip, and he got chipped back on that one. But it really kept him from getting out in the route. And Reggie Wayne played well the first half. You want him out in the route.
Third and 5. You wonder when they're going to start looking for T.Y. Hilton, who's only caught 1 pass tonight for 7 yards. Luck looking in that direction, throws, and that is caught. And sure enough, there is T.Y. Hilton for a first down to the 34-yard line.
My partner out there predicting plays. How about that? T.Y. Hilton there in that bunch formation looked like he was going to run on the crossing route and then just comes back this way. I think he's working on Roby, the rookie, again. Anthony Costanzo's had a nice game. The guys for Chairless on the other side. Not a lot out of Von Miller thus far tonight.
For $20, I'll give you my pick in the 5th at Del Mar tomorrow.
Sold. I'd love to go.
From the 33. Luck to the end zone, and the flag is thrown.
Wow.
At the goal line, it was Chris Harris with T.Y. Hilton.
This is an interesting call.
Very interesting call, yep.
Pass interference. Defense number 25 cut the receiver's path of the ball off. Ball replaced its spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
You know, Chris turns and cuts off T.Y. Hilton here in his path, and that is a cutoff pass interference. It's an uncomfortable play, but the more you look at it, the more you can see how he interfered. John Fox was out there yelling that it was uncatchable. That's what he's saying, you know, a little louder than I just said it.
With a couple of adjectives, 25-yard penalty, puts it at the 8, makes it first down and goal. And it's a 3-yard gain for Trent Richardson. Still keeping the feet moving, takes the ball just inside the 5. It'll be second down and goal.
You know, Trent Richardson has been running hard tonight. He's taken a lot of heat. got traded, not a lot of production, but you can at least see the effort. He got tired of hearing all that, and you don't get drafted that high. What was he, third overall, and not be a player? Big, strong guy for Alabama.
Three receivers set to the right in the bunch. Luck, a little shovel pass to the inside to Dwayne Allen. Tight end who got hurt early last season. He sees his first action of the night here. Sets up a third down and goal.
I tell you, Nate Irving has played a great game tonight. He really has. He was all over that play, beat the guard coming across, and made it.
And that's Irving, who is hurt. So an injury timeout here as Nate Irving, 56, goes down.
Jack Muhort, the guard, came around and tried to pick him up and just couldn't. They are thin at linebacker. This would hurt.
Third and goal when we come back. Nate Irving had his leg bent back, has to come off the field. Needed assistance. He's on the bench. So it's third down and goal now. Pass or run here. What do you think, Chris?
I would be looking for Andrew Luck in some sort of a draw situation. They sort of have their dime backers in there. Maybe an opportunity.
Third and goal. Instead, Luck throws and then is caught just short of the goal line by Hakeem Nicks. He's at the half-yard line. Roby covers on the play, and now you got a fourth and goal.
I think you have to go for this, don't you? You're playing against Peyton Manning
on the road.
On the road, you gotta assume they're going to score some more points.
No doubt in my mind, Bradshaw's the running back, and Luck's going to keep it. Can he get in? No, he can't. And then Bradshaw somehow winds up with the ball, and Bradshaw.
I think they blew it dead.
They blew the ball dead.
Quarterback was stopped. First down, Denver.
Quarterback was stopped. Forward progress. There's no question about that. Ball comes out. Bradshaw takes it in. Doesn't count. Denver with a great goal line stand despite missing their middle linebacker for the last two plays. They get it back.
Great push up the middle, and then it was Brandon Marshall who ends up coming over here late, just as it looks like Luck might escape, and Brandon Marshall, who replaced Danny Trevathan, there to keep it from becoming a touchdown. Great initial push. It was like everybody on Denver's defense knew it was going to be a quarterback sneak, and they just jammed it up.
And Bradshaw tried to take it away, but the play had been whistled dead at the 2-yard line, so Manning takes over there from the 2. Looking for breathing room. Mate Ball to the 4-yard line.
There's the King Nicks. Roby makes the initial hit.
Third down play right there.
But then it was Quentin Carter who came in because Nicks is a big guy. He probably would have muscled his way in there. Quentin Carter saved the back end of that.
So now second down and 8 from the 4. And a swing to the outside. That's caught by Julius Thomas. Look, it's easy to second guess because they didn't make it, but they came to the line of scrimmage quickly. You run a quarterback sneak. I don't know, with that offense, don't you have more options?
Well, Andrew wasn't too happy about it either.
Yeah.
It looked like they sort of had an idea that they could hustle up there and go fast and maybe surprise them.
Well,
but Pot Roast and company, they were weren't surprised at all.
So it's third down and 4 now. Denver still looking for its first down of the half. Manning out of the gun. And to the outside, and that'll be caught by Bull. Breaks the tackle, picks up the first down, out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Gain of 13. Got away from DeQuell Jackson, moves the chains.
Really tough on a linebacker. They got all this pick action going on the outside. DeQuell Jackson has to try and work his way through there and come up and make a tackle. It has been a tough night for DeQuell Jackson in coverage. Jarrell Freeman, much more the cover linebacker, and Andrew Luck, he knows that was a big third down opportunity.
from the 21-yard line. C.J. Anderson is in the backfield now. And C.J. up to the 24-yard line, tackled by Eric Walden.
You know, it's just been pretty much the story of the game thus far. And Chuck Pagano, he wouldn't admit it to us, but he knew that he was in a bit of a difficult situation. I'm sure they were hoping they would get some natural pass rush out of Eric Walden and Bjorn Werner and some of those guys, but it's just a different football team without Robert Mathis in there. They are all up here. There is nobody in the middle of the field.
Manning. Throw is low, but Sanders comes back, can't make the catch. It'll be third down. Last year, go back to Mathis's performance.
Well, Robert Mathis just dominated. Of course, they had, they didn't have Ryan Clady over there playing left tackle, and this hit and ended up being a safety was a big turning point in the game. Pressure all night long, and so they could play a few tricks in the secondary. So far tonight, no natural pressure.
That was Manning's homecoming. First game back in Indianapolis, and at that point the Broncos were 6-0. About halfway through the third quarter, it's third down and 7. And Manning throwing on a catch not made by Caldwell. Turned around, Greg Toller covering on the play, can't haul it in. Fourth down, here's Michelle.
Well, speaking about Robert Mathis and his suspension, he claims he failed a drug test after taking the fertility drug Clomid while he and his wife were trying to get pregnant, which they did. But Clomid is on the NFL's list of banned substances as it's often used to mask the presence of other drugs. And Mathis didn't check with the league ahead of time to see if Clomid would be problematic. And the NFL's drug policy is clear, Al. You are responsible for what's in your body.
So Mathis misses the first quarter of the season. Because of it, Whalen is back to receive the punt at the 24-yard line. And gets taken down at the 32-yard line. 7:29 remaining in the third quarter. Indy with the ball and down by 17 in Denver. Marcus Ware making his Bronco debut after several stellar seasons in Dallas. 117 sacks. He's averaged 13.3 sacks per 16 games, the length of a season. Sacks became an official stat in '82. Only Reggie White has a better sack rate per 16 games. So a guy coming close to averaging 1 per. Said when he left Dallas, he still wants to retire as a Cowboy. Great memories. They treated him well, but it was time to move on.
Yeah, wouldn't even listen to offers from other NFC East teams because he didn't want to offend the people in Dallas.
Now Luck sliding, flag thrown, and Richardson for a short game. Laurenti McCray and Steven Johnson are into the linebacker now for Denver, with Von Miller and Nate Irving both on the bench. Tony Correnti.
An eligible player downfield, offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Michelle, what do you know?
Well, Nate Irving is questionable with a lower leg injury. They were looking at his right leg, so as you mentioned, he's out for the moment. And David Bruton, also the backup safety, he is out of this game with a shoulder injury. Von Miller, he's got his helmet with him, so we're not quite sure what the issue is there, Al.
All right, thank you, Michelle. And his helmet is on right now, so he's on the sideline. Looks like he's ready to come back in. First and 15 from the 28. And Luck has to check it down to Richardson. And he gets the ball out to the 32-yard line.
Well, they knew that Von Miller was not going to be able to go every down. Basically, they said, yeah, he's 100%, he's ready to play, but he's not ready to play 70 plays. So they were going to rotate Quanterra Smith in there along with DeMarcus Ware and try and keep these guys fresh.
That's one of their top linebackers, Danny Trevathan, was hurt in camp and is going to be out for at least a couple of more weeks. As Luck throws and the catch is made, but just short of the first down. Quentin Carter making sure Dwayne Allen does not move the chains, at least for the moment. It's going to be 3rd down and 1 for the Colts.
That is an awesome play by Quentin Carter. We have a huge tight end in Dwayne Allen. They're so happy to have him back, but watch Carter square him up and then get the ball out to keep him short, I believe, of that 1st down marker, although now hard to tell where they're marking. It looks like it may be a 1st down.
They're going to give him forward progress. It was a fumble, and he went back and recovered it, but they wind up getting a 1st down.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, Pagano won his case. You saw him on the sideline. And then Reggie Wayne makes the catch and is forced out by Talib after a short gain. 2nd down and 6.
Yep, they've got Von Miller back in the game now. Marcus Ware in there as well. The young rookie Bradley Roby checks back into the nickel as well. And T.Y. Hilton matched up over him. So see if they try to go back to the rookie one more time.
5.5 left in the 3rd. Bradshaw. And a good move to slip away and slip through the middle and pick up a 1st down.
I just remember Ahmad Bradshaw being among the hardest working, never go down guy with the New York Giants. Of course, we'll all remember him for the Super Bowl when he did that, got to the goal line and fell backwards in for the winning touchdown there.
Luck guns it over the middle. A strike to Reggie Wayne. And that's a gain of 12. And another 1st down for the Colts.
Boy, Reggie Wayne just knows how to work these zones right here. Down and inside, and he knows somebody's coming. Who is that? Raheem Moore. Make the catch, get down. And right now, with Steven Johnson in there at middle linebacker, they may be trying to work the middle of the field here.
Luck looking over the middle, drops it down underneath. Bradshaw breaks the tackle. He's inside the 20. Ahmad Bradshaw to the 16-yard line. Got away from the rookie Roby. Another 1st down.
On the outside, good battle. DeMarcus Ware going against Anthony Costanzo. Gives him that little stab and then swipe move that he uses about 90% of the time when you watch DeMarcus Ware. His first move is to stab that offensive lineman with one hand and then try and knock his hands off with the other.
From the 16-yard line. Play clock under 5. Only a 3-man rush. And Luck throws as he's moving forward and completes it to Dwayne Allen. The ball comes out after it was blown dead. And that's going to set up a 1st and goal.
How good was that by Andrew Luck? Stepping up, looking like he was going to take off and run. About the time the defense starts reacting to him, he flips it back for a big 1st down. Eyes up.
Just before he crossed the line of scrimmage, too. Well, they're going to say he was down. They blew it dead. The ball is at the 4-yard line. Luck will take this snap from the pistol. And then falling down is Wayne as he makes the catch. Try to make the catch and maybe slide back to the inside. There's you a little slow in getting up.
Yeah, boy. Definitely slipped and got caught in an awkward situation there with his leg buckled underneath him. He's going off the field under his own power, but a little slowly. And this is where the Colts really struggle on this part of the field. You would love to be able to just play some power football down here, but they just haven't been able to do it.
That stopped the last time. Play clock at 1. Just to get it away, and then a fade to the corner of the end zone, and that's incomplete. Fleener was there, trying to come down in bounds, didn't hold on to the ball anyway. 3rd and goal.
Looked like Kobe Fleener just jumped too soon. Just mistimed it. He ended up on the way down as he was trying to catch it, and then Chris Harris was there and had time to catch up to it. He's going to jump early. Now he's sort of on the way down, and Chris Harris pokes it out.
Reggie Wayne comes back in. Pep Hamilton on the right, the offensive coordinator calling in the play. Ticking down to 2 minutes left in the third. Denver trying to effect another goal line stand. And Luck is going to get taken down at the 8-yard line by DeMarcus Ware. So now it's going to be 4th and goal, and they're going to send in the field goal unit.
A little bit of this stab and then swipe. Stab, swipe the hands off, but then the quickness to get back underneath. And maybe that's what's been missing a little bit in DeMarcus Ware's game. He's had a lot of injuries. Now you're starting to see that quickness that made him one of the all-time great pass rushers.
So Vinatieri comes in. This will be a 25-yard field goal. So the last 2 possessions, they've had a 1st and goal and have come away with a total of 3 points. But they made it a 2-possession game, 24-10. Minute and a half remaining in the third quarter, and we can tell you September 22nd, Pharrell and Gwen Stefani will join The Voice Monday, September 22nd, the season's debut right here on NBC. Will we have our first kickoff return of the game? No, we won't.
Not here.
31 left in the third. Denver up by 14. Sunday Night Football being brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Once a member, always a member. By Volkswagen TDI Clean Diesel. By Xbox One, the official game console of the NFL. And by McDonald's, official sponsor of the NFL. I'm loving it. Oldest steakhouse in the city. It's Buckhorn Exchange, one of the newest in Shanahan's. They also have good steaks there as well.
Not bad at all.
Gain of 4 out to the 24 from Monte Ball to make it 2nd down and 6 in the waning moments. And there is the father of Chuck Pagano, Sam Pagano, a legendary high school football coach from this area, from the Boulder area, which is where Chuck and his brother John, who's the defensive coordinator of the San Diego Chargers, grew up. Final minute of the third quarter, and it's Virgil Green, the tight end, picking up the first down.
Now they're trying to work on these outside receivers and put some pressure on them and get some bumps on them, but then it's sort of putting too much pressure on DeQuell Jackson to try and get out on Virgil Green. But Virgil Green's a guy who's primarily a blocker, and he's been in this basic formation really all night, this 2 tight end set. They finally threw him a bone, threw him the ball.
Manning deep, but too deep, but a flag is now thrown, intended for Demaryius Thomas. Did Toller get his hands on him? Gonna get a holding call, defensive.
Holding, defense, number 28. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Contact right about 5 yards, but I think they got a little inside the jersey, and they're going to call it. Tough thing to be a defensive back in the National Football League. You're guarding a guy about 6'3" and 235 that runs a 4.5 and grabbing anything you can, I guess.
It's over 6 feet and about $190. Manning incomplete, and that time it was intended for Emmanuel Sanders. Pressure put on through the middle, and it makes it 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, that time DeQuell Jackson got a little pressure, and he really had to throw that ball before he wanted to. This was a post corner on the outside by Sanders. A good move, but Peyton couldn't wait for him to make that second move. And now we're starting to see a little of the pressure, a little of the moving Peyton Manning off the spot. So far, it's been a good half for the Colts defensively.
2nd and 10. Denver's been limited to 36 yards on offense in this quarter, and that's a nice run here by Monte Ball, taking it to the 45, and that means the fourth quarter will begin with a 3rd down and 3 near midfield. And off we go to the Fourth quarter in Denver with the score of the Broncos 24 and the Colts 10. Sunday Night Football resumes after these messages. Tonight's aerial coverage being brought to you by Geico. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle DeFoya. Sunday Night Football, your number 9 for us for the Sunday night package. Chuck Pagano, John Fox, two men very lucky to be very healthy right now. Detail their recent medical history as we move along here as we start the fourth quarter. 3rd down and 3 from the 45-yard line. And Manning incomplete, and that's Thomas who can't hold on. Darius Butler right there to get a piece of it, and it's 4th down, and in comes the punt group.
Huge play right there by Darius Butler. Gets the one-on-one. Going to have to make a play against their best receiver, and does just that. They had to make that stop. Field goal on that drive makes things awfully tough. Nice play by Butler.
Colquitt to kick now. Griff Whalen is at the 8-yard line. Getting to the outside, but spun down.
Was it?
Or was he, is the question.
I'm not sure.
He's going down the sideline. He's still going down the sideline.
I'm not sure.
Is this a live play or not is the question. Was he never out of bounds?
He spun around.
It looked like he was going to go down. Brandon Marshall was trying to get him down, and if that knee wasn't down, obviously they're going to take a look at it because for the moment it's ruled a scoring play.
I think not initially, but the backside of this knee, see it? That's down.
There you go.
Oh, what a play in the ball game. The officials do the right thing, though, by letting it go if they're not sure, because you can always bring it back.
The previous play will go under review.
It goes under review. There's so many interesting facets to this, but clearly it's going to come back. Dean Blandino looking at it in New York, and they're going to have the ball deep in their own territory when we come back. Tony Correnti with the call.
After review, the runner was down at the 10-yard line. It'll be Indianapolis' ball, 1st and 10. With the game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 14:46. 14:46. Thank you.
Very clear. As Chris said, they let it go. It's that close, but his knee is down there. And then, of course, you don't have to challenge anything because it's a scoring play, as it turned out. But let's say he had gotten a good run back out of it. Then they could have challenged it, and they would have won the challenge.
Exactly. Now they need to challenge this Denver Broncos defense, because they've been taking it down the field, getting close to the goal line, and just not able to score touchdowns this half. This is a big drive for them. They got a long way to go, though.
And good news for that Bronco defense. Nate Irving, with that leg bent back midway through the 3rd quarter, is back in the game. Here's Richardson. He gets taken down. A flag comes in. T.J. Ward makes the stop. Should be a hold.
Holding.
It is.
Offense, number 75. This penalty of this has half the distance to the goal. Repeat, 1st down.
The Ohio State rookie, the number 2 draft choice.
Well, I tell you what, this T.J. Ward brings a little physical element to the game for the Denver Broncos in the secondary. Watch him fly up here and make this hit. I think this is him here. Oh, one more back. He's so far back and still managed to come up and make the play.
1st and 15 from the 5-yard line. And that's dropped. T.Y. Hilton can't bring it in. 2nd down and 15 from the Indy 5.
Well, you can't throw it better than that if you're Andrew Luck, and you've got it. You can't give plays away in this building against the Denver Broncos. Their defense has been playing sensational. They've given them every opportunity this half. Now they have to convert. You can't keep tempting fate with Peyton Manning. Eventually, he's going to turn it over right back into your end zone.
And just try to get some breathing room. They give it to Richardson for next to nothing, setting up a 3rd down and 13 from the 7.
Well, that big Terrence Knight in there is a nightmare. Pot roast, the guy that is one of the best defensive linemen in the league. And now you've got Marcus Ware, you have Von Miller. And here they come. Backed up, you can't hear. Tackles have a tough time hearing the snap count, getting off on the count. Marcus Ware will be flying.
Here they come. Luck gets it away, and the pass is thrown behind T.Y. Hilton and incomplete. They'll have to punt out of their end zone on fourth down.
You could just see DeMarcus Ware beat Costanzo off the snap. He just simply couldn't hear it and almost got there. Good recovery by Costanzo.
So McAbee to punt out of his own end zone. McAbee averaging 51 yards on his 3 punts tonight. This one hauled in by Burse at the 49. And a 3-yard run back to the 48-yard line. So a week from tonight, we're going to be at the 49ers' new digs, Levi's Stadium. It'll be the Chicago Bears and the San Francisco 49ers. Football night gets it started at 7 Eastern time. Recap today, Buffalo shocking Chicago, beating the Bears in overtime. San Francisco got off to a quick start. Vernon Davis had a couple of touchdowns. Kaepernick 201 yards. Knocked off Dallas 28-17. Sunday Night Football from the Bay Area next week.
I got a little taste of that Buffalo defense we saw earlier this year.
He did. And Manning will throw. Sanders close to a first down, tackled at the 40-yard line.
Boy, I tell you what, Arthur Jones, what a hustle play that was.
Broncos possessions tonight started out red hot. A field goal, 3 touchdown passes to Julius Thomas. But a different story here is the Indy defense has played a heck of a lot better. Monte Ball here picks up the first down.
I think DeQuell Jackson likes it when it's run right at him time. He came up and laid a big hit that time on Monte Ball.
Now Manning at the 36-yard line. And again on the ground. Ball getting to the outside, but not very far. Freeman from the front, Werner from the back, stopping him.
Well, you've got to think in this place they're already in field goal range. Don't have Matt Prater, who you would trust completely at Brandon McManus. So if the Colts defense can hold on this one, it'll force the young kicker to make a play.
So the backup quarterback, the veteran Hasselbeck, going over things with Andrew Luck. Second down and 9 here. Under 12 minutes to play in the fourth. Julius Thomas. There he goes again, but he loses the ball. And the Broncos get a huge break by recovering it at the 18-yard line as it skitters through 3 white shirts. Andre Caldwell saves the day.
They really didn't have enough coverage on the outside. They tried to run Jarrell Freeman back out there, and there's exactly the play you're hoping for if you're the Indianapolis Colts, and even that doesn't work out.
Jarrell Freeman, who forced the fumble, now goes limping off the field as it's 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. And Ball sends it back upfield. Penalty.
Holding, offense number 75. 10-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
Chris Clark, who played left tackle last year after Clady got hurt, now the right tackle.
You know, Chris Clark came a long way last year. He was asked to do nearly the impossible, replacing Ryan Clady on the outside, 3-time Pro Bowler who got hurt in week 2, that Liz Frank foot injury. He's Looks like Ryan Clay's a little tired out there too. He hasn't played a whole lot this preseason. They flip him over to right tackle and reshuffle the line, bring Orlando Franklin inside. Boy, as good as this Broncos offense looked in the first half, the Colts defense has done a job here in the second.
Denver with 346 total yards, but only 72 in this half. And a timeout is taken here with 10.5 to play in regulation. And Denver up by 2 touchdowns. Ball brought to you by Verizon. More live games than ever before with NFL Mobile. By Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. By Arrow Technologies. 5 years out. And by Toyota, let's go places. Right there you go into the Museum of Western Art in downtown Denver. The opening Sunday night. Denver up 24-10. At one point they led 24-0. It's a 1st and 20 now after a Denver timeout from the 29-yard line. And Manning throwing it to Demaryius Thomas. And there he goes. Bumped out of bounds inside the 3-yard line by LaRon Landry.
Every Sunday night we see one of these. It all starts with the inside receiver coming in and kicking out the cover corner on him, and then Demaryius Thomas said my first position was running back, and he loved it. There's Julius Thomas coming out and picking out the corner for Demaryius Thomas. And that play, we have seen it every time we've come here, go for big yardage for the Denver Broncos.
Screen works in every sport, doesn't it?
It really does. Pick and roll.
From the 3. Looking for room and staying on his feet, diving into the end zone goes Monte Ball. Had him stopped twice, kept on his feet, and in he goes.
I think it was Ricky Jean-Francois who got him first, stuffed him in the backfield. Good play, but Monte Ball, who in his collegiate career scored more touchdowns than anybody, shows what kind of a nose he has for the end zone. That'll make you forget about Noshawn Marino. Great play.
McManus's extra point is good. First points for Denver in the second half. 31-10 Broncos. Well, all of these world-class athletes are here to lose. The biggest loser, Glory Days, premieres this Thursday at 8 Eastern and Pacific, 7 Central and Mountain here on NBC. (31-10). Nary a kickoff return tonight, and another touchback as Andrew Luck with a 21-point deficit will begin his next drive from the 20. Ball into the score. And back to Sports Authority Field from the 20-yard line. Indianapolis down 31-10, and Luck going deep and too deep into double coverage intended for T.Y. Hilton, but no way is he going to be allowed to break free here. 2nd and 10.
He was surrounded by all the new guys back there. Aqib Talib, T.J. Ward had that one bottled up, and I think Jack Del Rio has to be happy. He said the number one thing on our list, the number one thing at the top of the blackboard is do not let T.Y. Hilton get behind us.
And they've held him in check tonight. Hilton, 2 catches, 15 yards. Luck slings it to the outside where it's hauled in by Dante Moncrief, a rookie out of Mississippi, 3rd-round draft choice. And spotted a yard shy of a first down. 3rd and 1.
Moncrief led Ole Miss with almost 1,000 yards.
Good protection and good coverage too. Reggie Wayne with Bradley Roby all over him. So Reggie Wayne, the 14-year All-Pro, probable Hall of Famer, engaged with Roby, the rookie out of Ohio State.
Great play, really, by Bradley Roby. Had man-to-man against a great future Hall of Famer. Had him completely blanketed. Now no choice but to go for it here.
4th and 1, a little over 9 to play. Last gasp. And they convert. And that's Ahmad Bradshaw staying in bounds, and as he does, goes down at the 49-yard line. First down.
Just a completely blown coverage that time. Looked like they were going to bring Ward here, but then they end up with nobody on Bradshaw coming out of the backfield. I don't know who messed it up. Von Miller maybe should have dropped off in coverage if they were sending Ward.
So they keep it alive on a 4th and 1, gain 22. Ball in Denver territory at the 49-yard line. And Luck throws, and going to the ground is T.Y. Hilton to make the catch after a gain of 8.
You think about all the opportunities the Colts had tonight. This should have been a really close game. They just couldn't convert when they had their chances.
Especially that 4th down, 4th and goal from the 1, unable to get in. Next time they got down there in the goal-to-go situation, had to settle for 3. Had a fumble that didn't go their way on Denver's last possession. And on 2nd and 2, that is not caught. It's incomplete. Intended for Hilton. Again, the plays that we were talking about. Had they scored here, it would have been a 24-14 game. Instead, it was 24-7. Denver got it back, and then Fleener covered by Harris. Then that fumble on the last Denver drive, skittering away from 3 Indianapolis Colts, and Denver cashed in. And now it's 3rd down and 2 with under 8 minutes to play in a 21-point game. Four-man rush. Luck throwing, and it's caught. And staying in bounds, did he stay in bounds is the question, is Dwayne Allen for the touchdown. So Allen breaks away. It's a 41-yard touchdown as he tightropes down the sidelines and takes it in.
Well, let's give some credit now to Ahmad Bradshaw. First of all, Dwayne Allen's going to make the play, but Bradshaw on the tail end of this thing is going to turn and give him a little alley right there. Nice block against T.J. Ward. And who knows? Andrew Luck, I guess anything's possible.
Again, keep an eye on his feet. Clearly in bounds, not even close. Of course, all scoring plays reviewed. We'll get confirmation in a second, and there will be a 2-possession game. There's 7:46 remaining in regulation. Adam Vinatieri. McAfee puts it down. Don't touch that dial. We beg of you. 7:46 remaining in regulation. 31-17 Broncos. Look at the numbers for both quarterbacks. 266 for Luck through the air. Manning 269, but Manning with those 3 touchdowns. Now the question is, do you onside kick it here? And the Denver Broncos are expecting it. They send only Sanders back deep. And here you got Vinatieri, and he's going to onside kick it, and it's going to come loose, and Indianapolis is going to wind up with the ball at the 43-yard line. Andy Studebaker comes up with it. So they put the good hands guys out there for the Broncos, and it doesn't matter. Julius Thomas, who has 3 touchdown catches, can't make the catch on the onside kick.
The interesting thing about this is that I don't think that you onside kick against anybody other than Peyton Manning. Well, maybe a couple other quarterbacks, but because this is an offense that was record-setting a year ago, even with 7 minutes and 45 seconds to go, you onside kick it and it works out. Now you've got a tired defense out there, and here you go, Andrew Luck.
And there's McAfee, who's so adept at doing those sorts of things. A little high hopper, the spin on it. And Luck takes over at his own 43. flag before the snap here for a false start.
False start. Offense number 14. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
That's Hakeem Nicks.
It's almost hard to believe he could hear the snap count with all the crowd going crazy on that one. That hurts. Boy, you catch a break, you got the momentum going, and first and 15. This is a time when I think you have to keep your eye on Andrew Luck running the football, too. Sometimes it's a real drive starter for this Colts offense.
In the pocket. Number 2 option was Reggie Wayne. Wayne gets about 5 yards. Nate Irving makes the tackle. Let's call it a 6-yard pickup. 2nd and 9.
I tell you, these interior pass rushers have done a nice job sort of keeping Luck in front of him and not giving up those lanes where he can step up and through.
And that's knocked down, almost picked off at midfield. Brandon Marshall, the linebacker, knocking it away from Fleener.
Brandon Marshall is a guy that was playing on the scout team against the Broncos offense a lot, and the offensive players say, would you please start him on defense so we can get rid of him on the scout team. He used to wreck their practices, and now here he is starting for Danny Trevathan.
3rd and 9. Luck hangs in there, and it's Hakeem Nicks taken down in the open field by T.J. Ward.
Well, if you go onside kick, you have to go for it on 4th down here, right?
No doubt. Under 7 to play. 4th and 7.
Fisher's having a little trouble with the ball. Almost would like to see him stop the clock there when they mishandle it.
Yeah, Pagano wants a fresher clock. They finally get it down. Have to get to the 46 of the Broncos. And Luck throws, and they'll pick up the first down as it's caught by T.Y. Hilton. Over the middle, takes it to the 43. Luck says, let's huddle up.
It's hard to believe out of that bunch formation that they got that wide open. There just was nobody on the inside part of that zone. It's the most basic of routes out of that bunch.
Now Luck back to pass. They set up the screen. Here's Bradshaw. And Bradshaw will get out of bounds after picking up the first. You are the top draft choice, helping to lead the way.
Yeah, Jack Newhart out in front of some of those screens tonight has been really effective. He does not just attack without making any contact. And Peyton Manning, you can see the look of frustration on his face now.
Got out of bounds, but once the ball is spotted, outside of 5 minutes, they start the clock. From the 33. Basic 4-man rush, knocked away. Intended for Fleener, it's Tony Carter getting a hand in there to make it 2nd down and 10.
You know, it's interesting, I think in part because they weren't sure if Chris Harris was going to be ready or not, so they end up drafting Bradley Roby, but now this Denver Broncos team really has a lot of depth in this secondary, and their playmakers are showing up tonight.
Collectively stopping their feet. Luck. Flag is down. Tipped and picked off at the 13-yard line by Raheem Moore. But a flag is down on the near side of the field at the 32-yard line, the line of scrimmage.
There is no foul for legal hands to the face. The ruling on the field will stand. has an interception. Denver's ball, first down.
And that is the second pick of the night for Raheem Moore.
Yeah, both off tip balls by his buddies. Here, Kobe Fleener, a tall receiver, about 6'6", his old mate back at Stanford, couldn't hang on. Very catchable ball. And Raheem Moore, the beneficiary once again. That's what you have to be able to do as the free safety. You're going to see some tip balls, some overthrown balls. And they really like now the fact that T.J. Ward is that strong safety. Raheem Moore back in center field. And he has been effective tonight.
And now Peyton Manning can begin to work on the clock at the 13-yard line. And this is ball. You know, you look at Raheem Moore, it's an amazing story. He started in the Kansas City game, a Sunday night game last year, had to come out of the game, leg didn't feel right, went home, had his girlfriend take him to the hospital at 2 in the morning, and the doctor said if they hadn't operated on him that night, they would have had amputated his leg the next day.
A great training staff at least recognized the danger and sent him right to the hospital, and really maybe saved his life, or at least saved his leg.
It's called lateral compartment syndrome, and he has a long 13-inch scar on the outside of his calf. But here he is in his first game since that night against Kansas City with 2 picks tonight. And this is ball. And then, of course, there are the coaches. You're talking about 2 guys whose bye weeks couldn't have come at better times, as timeout is taken here by Indianapolis. John Fox, the bye week last year, he lives in North Carolina, went home, didn't feel right, playing golf, can't get his legs under him, and he knew something was wrong, and they took him to the hospital, and the next thing you know, John had open heart surgery.
Yeah, well, his wife made him go get a checkup at Duke during the bye week. He wanted to go fishing. He's a deep-sea fisherman. He said, I would have been down an island somewhere 60 miles out. I would have been dead. Ended up, he was stricken about 1 hole away from his house. Knew all the doctors because he coached in Carolina. And all those bizarre sets of circumstances working together probably saved his life. He looks great now.
Very fortunate for John, who said he feels 100. He feels much younger now. Feels a lot better. Missed 4 games. Came back. At the end of the year, of course, coached in the Super Bowl. And he says he's 100%. 3rd down and 6. And Manning under pressure. He's going to get sacked. Back at the 5-yard line. So the sack that time, Josh McNary, the first guy to get in there. Eric Walden is there as well.
He's going to give him a chance here. Josh McNary shooting right through here. Chris Clark tried to come back and try and help inside, but there is the pressure. And they still have a shot at this thing. There's still plenty of time remaining.
So Manning back on the bench. There's Chuck Pagano, and you talk about another fortuitous bye week coming 2 years ago. He goes in for a checkup, discovers he has a form of leukemia. It was so advanced at that point, the doctor said, you're not even going home. We're going to start treatment today in the facility.
Bruce Arians took over the team, takes him to the playoffs. And Chuck Pagano, he knows just how lucky he is.
In remission from September the 26th, 2012. As punting out of the end zone, the rush was on, but he was able to get it away, and Whalen at the 49-yard line will bring it back to the 45.
No foul for running into the kicker, as the kicker was not touched.
So the crowd all thought that there should have been a flag, and Correnti says the kicker wasn't touched.
Colquitt with a little flop. Well, he may have been touched a little bit there by Mario Harvey.
He was grazed.
Okay. I guess that counts as not touched in football. Any other part of life, that'd be touched.
Colts now at the 45-yard line. They have 1 timeout plus the 2-minute warning. Pump fake, and Luck throws, caught. And a flag is down again. Reggie Wayne for the moment to the 25-yard line. Had 15 penalties in the game, 8 against the Colts.
Illegal contact, defense number 32. This penalty is declined. Result to the play, first down.
Result of the play is a 20-yard gain to the 25.
Guys are chairless right here. The only reason this play happened was Andrew Luck had about 4 or 5 seconds to pump fake, get Von Miller running by.
Now from the 26. Good protection underneath. Richardson has it. Has the first down. They'll force him out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Well, what a half for the Colts offense. 231 yards in the second half. And checking out Ware on the Denver sideline.
It's been a long night for these pass rushers. They need to find an extra burst because Luck has a lot of time right now.
Those are the ball right at the 10. Thus it's a first down and goal. Luck will pack it in and pick up about a yard before Derek Wolfe takes him to the turf.
Just nowhere to go with the ball. Aqib Talib here on the outside. A little double move by T.Y. Hilton.
Second and goal. And that is not caught in the end zone. And no flag either. Aqib Talib draping T.Y. Hilton. It'll be third down and goal.
That's just brilliant coverage. Great corners come underneath the receivers on the slant. Knock it away. Veteran play by a Pro Bowler. He has been big tonight.
Ware is back in the game on a third and goal from the 9. Luck. And that is juggled and caught for a touchdown by Hakeem Nicks. And they've made it a one-possession game.
I mean, Hakeem Nicks, it looked like Tony Carter had this thing knocked out of his hands, and it just pops up and floats right back down softly like a balloon. I mean, you can't cover it better than that. Tony Carter just didn't make a play on the ball.
So McAfee's onside kick leads to the recovery, leads to a touchdown. Vinatieri for the point after. And with 3:26 remaining in the fourth, can Luck do it again? He was down 24-0 at one point. They squandered a goal-to-go opportunity, giving up the ball. They settled for 3 points on another goal-to-go opportunity, and still here they are down only by 7.
Maybe the bigger question is, can Pat McAfee do it again? This was the onside kick earlier. They recovered. This is not a must onside kick situation here, though.
No.
Remember, offensively, for Peyton Manning, yes, he's still Peyton Manning, but you're backed up, and you certainly don't want to turn the ball over and make it a short field. So there's a lot of pressure on the offense in this situation. You're going to kick it out of the back of the end zone, give it to him on the 20-yard line. Big decision here by Chuck Pagano.
Yeah, I don't think I would here, because if you don't recover it, he's got the short field. You're in Denver. A field goal makes it a 2-possession game.
You know, there are alternatives. There are spaces on this field where you could do a little pooch kick in behind it. See if the returner can pick it up or not. Out here on the edges, there's a lot of space. There's no human beings out there. A lot of fast guys running down and take a shot at it.
And the hands people are out there. Didn't help them the last time. And they're going to kick it deep.
See, if he lands that one in the field of play, they got a problem. They might have had to play that one inside the 5 or the 10.
So Manning's going to take over at the 20. 3:26 remaining. Indianapolis has 2 timeouts. Make it 1 timeout. Nope, 2. Sorry. Broncos 41 straight games after leading by 8 or more in the fourth. So at the 20-yard line now.
I think you have to play offense here. You've got the MVP as your quarterback. They're in a pure run formation. A little play action would not surprise me at all right here on first down.
Let's just get it straight right now. Indianapolis, as I said originally, 1 timeout remaining, plus the 2-minute warning. And this is Monte Ball, stopped at the line of scrimmage by Arthur Jones. And the Colts are going to take
This is their third and final
timeout. So they're out of timeouts now. The clock will only stop at the 2-minute warning. And Peyton will be looking for a couple of first downs, and that would do it.
I tell you, this Arthur Jones has had a big game coming over from the Ravens, matching up with Corey Redding, another guy who spent some time there. There he is right here. Watch him just out-muscle the offensive line out to the outside, come in behind and make that play. So now you're looking at 2nd and 10 and probably going to get some nickel formations. There's a lot of backup guy, Josh McNary, now in there at linebacker, number 57. Let's see who else we have in there. Of course, Jerrell Freeman went off the field limping a bit ago. He's probably their best cover linebacker.
And Manning off play action. And that is not caught, incomplete. Perfect scenario for Indianapolis. Stops the clock. 3:15. Sanders, the intended receiver. 3rd and 10.
I think that was a careful throw by Peyton Manning. Again, you don't want to turn the thing over. This is a throw he hits almost every time. A little bit on the run. Just wanted to be a little safe with it, and I think it cost him a completion.
Colt defense limiting the Denver offense to 60 passing yards in this half. They clocked at 1 as Manning takes the snap. Manning then overthrows Andre Caldwell. It's the perfect scenario for the Colts. Used their last time out, and then Indy is able to save a bunch of time on the 2 incompletions. 4th down.
Come with the blitz inside. They pick it up beautifully. This should have been a first down. Peyton Manning had his guy. He was open. Just don't hit it. Had 2 opportunities.
Colquitt puts it into the mile-high air. Here's Whalen trying to get to the near side and can't. Tackled at the 36-yard line by Jacob Tammy. 2:58. Here comes Luck, down by 1 touchdown. Here it is in the second half alone. 222 passing yards for Luck and 70 for Manning.
Complete flip-flop, first half to second half. Well, we've been telling you, this is where Andrew Luck specializes. Pep Hamilton, their offensive coordinator, was saying earlier this week, as long as number 12 is playing quarterback, we are always in football games. He is the master of this situation.
4 receivers into the pattern. Pass is caught. That's Hakeem Nicks, stopped a little short of the first by Tony Carter.
And they've been working on Tony Carter a little bit. That's a matchup. It's an extra guy. Last year it was T.Y. Hilton or bust, but now they've got Dwayne Allen, they've got Hakeem Nicks, they've got weapons.
2nd and a short 1. Flip it out to the near side, and that's Fleener for a first down, taking the ball into Denver territory, spotting it at the 43.
Referee signals that he did not get out, so that clock is still moving.
Oh, and then Bradshaw drops it. Started to look upfield. Drops it, 2nd down with 2:09 left in the 4th. So back to the last play as you look at Fleener here. Did he get out of bounds? Well, looks to me as if he did, yeah.
Although really, it's all in on this drive anyway.
Right.
So you'd like to milk the clock as much as you could, not give Peyton another shot going the other way.
No question. Of little relevance. 2nd down and 10 from the 43. And Luck going deep and off the fingertips of Reggie Wayne, who in his return after missing the last half of last season, having surgery, has caught 9 balls tonight for 98 yards.
Couldn't tell if that ball was tipped or not, but that is some throw by Luck up over Roby's hands. Maybe it was. I think Roby did get a fingertip on it.
So it's 3rd down and 10, and what should be the final play before the 2-minute warning. They go 5 wide here.
Oh boy!
And the play clock has run out.
No.
Oh, they're going to call it a false start.
Thought that Von Miller jumped across.
Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Von Miller jumped, but he did not cross the line of scrimmage according to the line judge. You'll see Von Miller right here move. Cherlish reacted, but you've got to get in that neutral zone or it doesn't matter.
And then he realized it. So it's 3rd and 15. Luck trying to pick up a chunk of that. To the 39 goes T.Y. Hilton. So he's about 6 yards short of the first down. We go to the 2-minute warning with 1:57 remaining in the 4th. It'll be 4th down and 6 when we come back to Denver. After the game, it's the Volkswagen post-game report. Michelle with interviews down on the field. Bob, Tony, and Mike wrap up the game. We'll take a look at the matchup next week. But right now, it is the ball game. Can Indianapolis keep it going?
Chris Harris, the starting cornerback, out of the game. Tony Carter at the top of your screen has been who they've been targeting. Team Nix, a big physical receiver.
4th and 6. Can they keep it going? Luck throws. No. Batted down. Incomplete. Bradley Roby. Baptism by fire. Knocks it away from Reggie Wayne. So they bring the rookie in, the number 1 pick out of Ohio State, and he's had a big night.
Sure has. Bradley Roby, a couple of big plays against Reggie Wayne, and now the game winner. Little physical play, a little tug of the arm. But you could see Andrew Luck was going to his guy, but the young buck there to make the play.
Well, it didn't come easy for the Denver Broncos, but they will escape with a victory on opening night after almost squandering a 24-point lead. Andrew Luck has thrown for 370 yards. Roby getting a hug on the sideline, and a well-deserved one.
You know, Jack Del Rio telling me that Bradley Roby was mislabeled a little bit. There was a little controversy over you wanted to take him or not. But he's a guy that since they've gotten him, they think the world of him. Really a good cover guy, and he has proven worthy of that first pick here tonight.
You think Wayne's been in the league since 01. Roby's grown up, I'm sure, watching Reggie Wayne dozens of times. Now you meet him face to face, and it's a night to remember for that guy.
Welcome to the NFL. That is a good feeling when you're a rookie and you end up making a play on a future Hall of Famer like that to win it.
And Peyton needs one more kneel down, and the Denver Broncos will knock off the Indianapolis Colts. Peyton Manning has now beaten every team in the league. Now that he's taken care of his old team, the Indianapolis Colts, there it is. Only Brett Favre and Manning have beaten everybody. Of course, Brady has never played against New England. Breeze has never beaten Baltimore, and Kerry Collins has beaten 31 of the 32 teams.
Pretty impressive, though, by the Indianapolis Colts. This thing looked like it was over at halftime, and they came out and fought hard and had a chance to win it at the end.
So the Colts turn it into a ball game, but the Broncos go to 1-0. Colts get Philly next Monday night. Denver gets Kansas City here as we wrap up the first Sunday of the 2014 NFL season. So coming up next, it will be the Volkswagen post-game report. John Fox heading back to the locker room. Peyton Manning, 22 of 36 for 269. Roby makes the play on 4th down to preserve it. And back with the Volkswagen post-game report. But first, these messages from your local NBC station.